Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we do our pre-Christmas show on this December the 22nd. Rolling into our 18th year on the air right out of ESPN 790 here in Memphis, and all you good folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM, 95.3 FM, and, of course, in Jackson on News Talk 101.5. We got a young man with us now coming up that we kind of talked to him off the air before we started rolling to this and talking about Christmas. This one's going to be a special one for this young man because he has clinched that final berth in the Bassmaster Classic for 2019, based out of Knoxville, March 15th and the 17th. And I know our man Ron Wong will be up there in Vol Country. And Bill Cooksey, I know. Did you ever think you'd see the Bassmaster Classic in Knoxville?
I really didn't.
You didn't,
I really didn't.
No.
I mean, it's a beautiful place for it.
It
for
is.
Sure, but I just never really thought it'd hit there.
And, Bill, you're probably going to be there for the Classic, too, aren't you?
I may try to make it up there.
Well, I mean, representing Vanishing Paradise.
If possible.
Because of the expo there,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of potential
help
there.
Don't get this next guy nervous now talking about the expos and everything.
He won't worry
he
about
won't
the
have
expo.
time.
He won't
have time for the expo.
Well, we got with us this morning on Outdoors with Larry, Matthew Robertson. And good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, fellas. I appreciate you having me on, and I really appreciate it.
Well, we like to get folks on that do something good, and you did something good. Special, maybe more than the likely word for it. And Ron,
yeah, it's pretty amazing. The way it happened. And
tell us about it.
And down there on the Harris Chain in Florida, the first day we only had 11 pounds, and the next day we knew we had to catch a big bag to make it to the finals.
To make it the cut.
To make the cut, and we went out and caught 29 pounds.
Woo, I think
for those of you that are listening, Matthew Robertson has got the last place into the Bassmaster Classic coming up in March 2019 in Knoxville, Tennessee. And, you have to be thrilled with what you did. But what was really amazing, Matthew, tell our listeners what you did during practice that nobody else probably did.
That's right.
How did you practice?
We fished offshore. We went out there and we idled around looking for fish. We probably fished less than 2 hours a day, and we were using our electronics to find the fish, and that's how we did it. It wasn't your typical Florida style fishing, flipping or whatnot. And I think we brought a little bit of a new game to Florida, and I think you'll see people trying that more.
Mm-hmm.
And we were throwing big crankbaits, big spinnerbaits, and big swim baits.
Right. Now, and you like you said, you were fishing offshore, and you really, on the last day of the tournament, you caught over 31 pounds of bass, 5 bass.
Yep.
There were a lot of anglers. Most of the anglers didn't even catch that many throughout the whole
31-15.
Yeah.
31-15
throughout the
in
whole
one day.
tournament. Now, that was a special place.
I think so. Yeah.
And tell our listeners, how did you and your partner determine who was going to get that hole? Because that's interesting.
Wendell Henderson?
I can't really thank him enough, but what happened was he doesn't really have any aspirations, to fish for a living, to move on and be a professional. I know he'd want to fish the Bassmaster Classic. Who wouldn't? It's the Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah.
And but it was kind of an unspoken thing. He just said, "Hey, this is what you want to do. Here's your chance. Go do it." And I'm gonna sit here and watch you do it. He watched me fish.
He did.
The first day he went and fished a while, and he came over at about 9 or 10 o'clock to check on me. To make sure I was catching them.
And that's your partner, Wendell Anderson.
Yeah, Wendell Anderson.
And have you fished with him for a long time?
How does
as
that
partner?
Yeah, we started fishing tournaments together whenever I was 15 and he was 11.
Wow.
We couldn't even drive,
Yeah.
My granddad and his dad fished together, and they'd take the boat and dump us in,
Yeah. And look at this. Here's a guy that started out when he couldn't drive, and now you're going to the Classic.
Yep.
And you were telling us that the town that you're living in is not far from Paducah, Catawba. Yep. Is that right? Catawba?
Yep.
Catawba, Kentucky. How many red lights you got in Catawba?
Oh, man, one.
One, okay. That's all right. That has nothing to do with you winning the Classic. Now, let's just say that 52 people are going to be in the Classic. What's it going to be like for you? Describe what's going through your mind here for Christmas.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, what are you thinking about?
Man, I've just been preparing.
Okay.
I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been fishing tournaments since I was 11.
And you're 32 now, right?
Yeah, and like I said, I'm preparing for it like any other tournament. I just got back from Knoxville. I spent 6 days on the lake, mostly riding around. I did do a little fishing, caught a couple 4 or 5 pound smallmouth, and I really like the way the lake sets up. I think it's going to suit my style of fishing, the way I grew up fishing here in Kentucky.
And you fish the Tennessee River a lot, too, anyway, right?
Yeah. I cut my teeth on the Tennessee River and a few other river systems, the Cumberland.
Right.
And like I said, I think it's setting up real well.
Now, are you a full-time fisherman? You got a job? What's your situation?
No, I'm not. I mean, that could change here soon.
It sure could. That's right. That's right.
A little win at the Classic.
Well, just going to the Classic. So what? You got a real job?
Yeah, I got a real job. I was a machinist up to this past April, and I've been doing that for since I was out of high school. Yeah. And I got laid off and decided to do something different. Now I started my own pressure washing company.
There you go. Yeah.
And now I pressure wash.
Okay, and you're going to have a lot of pressure, and I hope you wash it away when you get to Knoxville. Now, is this a dream come true for you, Matthew?
Yeah, it really is. It's something every angler dreams of, and I just, it hasn't really sunk in. I think once we get there,
yes,
and seeing all the people and
your idols, you're going to be
big of a show it is.
Yeah, you're going to be right there with. So who are some of your pro bass and heroes that you might have a chance to be right in there with?
Yeah, and it'll be an honor to compete against those guys.
Well, I'm going to tell you that.
I want everybody to know, anybody else out there, whatever your dreams are, all you got to do is work hard to get there. I'm just your average working guy, just like anybody else, and I'm fixing to, walk into the biggest tournament in the world. And be able to compete against the top anglers, and I'm going to be representing the common working man out there, and it's an honor to do that.
It really is a Super Bowl of bass fishing there, and with all of the people, do you even think a little bit about what that's like with all of the crowds that'll be there at Blast Off, at the weigh-ins and everything else, and cheering you on and seeing what you're doing?
He has nothing to lose. I mean, you're.
Do you think about that any?
I have, and that's whenever I think it'll hit me. Whenever I realize, I've never been to a Classic. I hate. This is going to sound weird, but I said I'd never go until I made one, and now I'm.
You've never been to a Classic. You've never been to. Oh man. Okay.
No, I've never been to one. I've had chances to go to them.
Yeah.
But I said, like I said, I'd never go to one till I made it, and I've been training for this my whole life.
Well,
and I'm prepared for it, and I think, and like I said, the big crowds, I think it'll be an awesome experience.
Well, Matthew, congratulations to you to nail down that spot. I guarantee you, just for my listeners out here, knowing you're not that far from our area, we pull for those guys like that, and we're We're going to try to talk to you before the Classic, maybe to get a touch back on you. Before, yeah. We'd love Ron Wong sets up that pre-Classic show. Ron, we might throw Matthew in there one time at least to see.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'd really enjoy that.
Well, you handled yourself real well on the show today, and we wish you another big success. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And look out for Ron Wong. You can't miss it.
I will be there. Looking forward to meeting you, buddy.
I look forward to meeting you, buddy.
All right.
Y'all care if I thank my sponsors real quick?
Well,
Please
we want
do.
you to. I was waiting for you. I was giving you the opportunity.
I was going to say, Renegade Marine in Litchfield, Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
They have, they sell Triton boats and a whole tractor line of boats. I got to thank Triton Boats. I've been running a Triton for years. It's a phenomenal boat. Mercury Motors.
Mm-hmm.
They've been pushing my Tritons the whole time, and they haven't failed me yet. And Scottsboro Tackle, they're located down in Alabama, and I throw their swim baits as well as other tackle. And I'm not just saying it. I mean, to me, it's the best swim bait on the market, and you can see the swim bait in the pictures on the sacks of fish I was catching. That's a testimony in itself, and I can't thank them all enough.
Well, I think one day we may have a Robertson swim bait. Whoever knows? We want to make sure of that. Hey, buddy, thank you for being with us, and don't believe in luck. Just go get them, and we'll talk to you after the new year, okay?
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, Matthew. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break, come back, close it out with one of my favorites. Known him forever, it seems like. And we're going to talk a little bit about conditioning because Mark Rose is dealing with some issues with his elbow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about fishing for a living isn't all that easy.
No.
Mark can tell you. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.